On the Fringe with Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We've got a major storm coming. Folks, it was like a Cat 1 yesterday. Within 24 hours, it's become a Cat 5. On top of that, there's a very interesting little pre-storm in front of the storm. Almost like something steering it would be my hunch. Of course, that's conspiracy talk. I know. I get that. We've got a lot to talk about. Major stuff going on with the elections. Stuff going on all over the place. Yeah. And actually just got some really cool, a couple interesting videos just in general. We're going to start with this one. I think this is very important. I want you guys to watch this. It's like a minute, but it talks about confirmation bias and how that all works. Check it out.
Why is it so hard to change someone's mind? Let's talk about it. If you're new to my channel, I'm of course Rachel, the neuroscientist. The brain really doesn't like changing its mind, and that gives rise to things like the confirmation bias, anchoring bias. Confirmation bias means that we'll actually selectively filter out information that is incongruent with our existing beliefs. Even if we do process that information, we'll give it a lot less weight than we would with something that actually aligns with our existing ideas. Anchoring bias is where we hold on to the very first thing that we learn about something, and it's hard for us to let go of that, even when we're presented with evidence that suggests that it's not accurate. What a terrible design! Why are we like this? Well, neuroscientifically speaking, once you learn something, your brain has to restructure and rewire itself. We also instinctively perceive change, uncertainty, unpredictability as inherently dangerous. Sticking to what's familiar can obviously serve as an evolutionary advantage. The last and perhaps more psychological component of that is that our ideas tend to be tethered to our identity, and the brain really doesn't like threats to identity. Your sense of self involves so many different structures, memories, processes in the brain. To rewrite that would be very complicated, and in the daily struggle for survival, potentially fatal.
Now, again, amazing information. I want to ask a question. There's a bit of a test that was baked into this. How many of you guys, when you saw this, you were thinking about the people on the left, the people that aren't awake, the problems that we face as far as trying to fix humanity? And how many of you actually looked inward and said, do I do that? Am I guilty of this? Am I holding on to beliefs because I've got confirmation bias, because I don't want to let go of them, because I've always believed this? Something interesting to keep in mind. I'm curious how many of you were on which side and how many on the other. Another interesting story. Again, if for some reason this is true, and then that means that Alexa's a future teller, or Alexa's somehow capable of knowing what the deep state's planning on doing, very possible, who knows. But I also just want to point out, too, that AI on many, many occasions is known to make up things if it doesn't have factual evidence to go off of. It's designed to give you an answer. It's designed to come up with an answer. It'll make one up if it has to. So I don't know. We'll find out within 24 hours whether or not this is actually accurate.
Alexa, tell me about the earthquake on October 8th, 2024.
From muckrack.com. The earthquake struck at around 7:28 a.m. and was felt across Thousand Oaks, Calabasas, and the Los Angeles area, with the epicenter closest to the Malibu Fault.
So there you go. I'll know 7:30 in the morning tomorrow, less than, half a day, 16, 18 hours from now. I will have an idea of what is going on, whether that's true. Unfortunately, not super duper close to me, even if it's a giant earthquake. I'll feel it, but yeah, I should be reasonably safe. Elon Musk has put this out. I guess he's taken over an account. It's called America. This account's been inactive for, I guess, over 4 years. Elon Musk had warned a lot of people that any accounts that were inactive, he would take them over, especially if they have cool names. And we also know that they recommend that you should log in at least once every 30 days to maintain your account status. So we don't know exactly how long it takes before they can hijack an account. Whatever the case is, he hijacked an account for a good reason, I believe. So America, they've got a petition in defense of your constitutional rights to free speech and to bear arms. Now, this is ultimately takes us to this post Sign our petition in defense of your constitutional rights to free speech and bear arms. Goal is to get 1 million voters in swing states to sign this petition. For each registered swing state voter you refer that signs the petition, you get $47. I want you all to be able to make $47. Now, here's the way this works, and I'm going to couch this with any of you that know my email address. It's not the email address I used when I registered, okay? I don't want anyone registering under me. I don't want anyone getting, I don't want to get $47 for any of you. I want you guys to sign up your own thing, and then I want you guys to try to find 1 or 2 or 3 people that'll sign this with you, and then you make $47 times however many people. Especially if you're somebody that could use a little extra money, here is a very easy way to go about doing that. So petition.theamericapac.org. Petition.theamericapac.org. Once again, petition.theamericapac.org. You can find it from Elon Musk's post. You can also find it from America, that post. However you get there, do not try to use my email address. If any of you know me, trust me, that is not the email address that I used, and so therefore you won't help anybody. Sign yourself up. Get your friends to use your email address or phone number, the 2 options that are available, and make some money and help make America great again. Local news station catches Democrats trying to register illegal voters. This is actually an interesting little story. I'm going to go ahead and let this Fox 2 play it.
An investigation by Fox 2 finds non-U.S. citizen migrant workers are being encouraged to vote in November's presidential election. Fox Files investigator Chris Hayes found this out after an employer of migrant workers alerted him.
These union mailers were just sent to non-U.S. citizen migrant workers. They say, quote, stop the steal by stopping Trump's allies, vote for Harris Walz and pro-worker candidates. Here's 11 of the mailers addressed to non-U.S. citizens mailed to their workplace, which alerted Fox 2. The business, which specializes in landscaping, does not want to be identified. The company's manager told us their migrant worker employees, who are from Mexico, are all background checked and have legal H-2B visas, which allow their temporary stay here. The manager explained the migrant workers are also allowed to have union representation and that they pay dues to their union, called La Una. But the manager cannot understand why the union would send mailers to non-U.S. citizens encouraging their vote in the presidential election. We've tried repeatedly to get an explanation from Washington, D.C.-based union La Una. 3 emails to their communications department and 3 phone calls. A 4th call also went to voicemail. We checked with Ms.
Based out of Washington, D.C. Who thunk that? Who figured that would happen? RNC lawsuit accusing Fulton County of not hiring enough Republican poll workers. According to the lawsuit, which names Nadine Williams, the director of Fulton County Department of Registration and Elections, as the defendant, only 9 of the 45 qualified Republican poll workers were allegedly hired to work during the early voting period, and only 6 of the 62 qualified Republican poll workers were hired to work on Election Day. The lawsuit also alleges that Williams violated state law by not directly hiring poll workers from a list of qualified candidates submitted to her, instead delegating the duty to temp agencies and the managers of individual polling locations. The lawsuit asks the court to order Williams to hire Republican poll workers from the list provided to her or submit written statements to each poll worker on the list explaining why they can't be hired. In a similar lawsuit to one filed in September in Michigan, which accuses the Election Commission of Detroit of violating state law by hiring more Democrat poll workers than Republican ones for the upcoming election. So again, a lot of lawsuits happening. Also, something weird happened at Arizona. Major breaking news, if you will. 150,000 students from all Arizona universities, including ASU and University of Arizona, have received texts from Kamala Harris' campaign telling the students to vote for her. If Kamala Harris has access to all of Arizona's college students' phone numbers, what else do they have? Now, it's interesting. I will say I keep my phone number out of a lot of stuff, but very much ended up as soon as the election stuff started happening, I started getting crap that I don't normally get that much spam, to be honest with you. I get a crap ton of spam every single day now. So I kind of think every single one of our phone numbers, regardless if you're unlisted or not, has been given to probably the Democrat Party at least. I think it's been used nefariously. I think there's a lot of people that actually believe that Trump just texted you. Trust me, it's not Trump. Kamala Harris's campaign, it wasn't Kamala Harris doing this, but sure, her campaign. But whatever the case is, they apparently got 150,000 phone numbers. Chaos Coordinator kind of made an interesting little question. Laura Loomer was posting this story, and he's like, I always say eat crow. Can you see me? So did Michael Crow, the president of ASU, give Kamala Harris access to the data of 70,000 ASU students? Did you know that Michael Crow is the chairman of the board for InQtel, the Central Intelligence Agency's venture capital firm? Interesting. CIA directly involved with this college in a state that they're trying to steal from us. Interesting. RNC wins in Michigan mail ballot case. Last week, the RNC and Michigan GOP secured another major victory for election integrity against Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson to ensure mail ballots are cast and counted properly. RNC Chairman Michael Whatley stated, the RNC applauds the finding by the courts requiring Michigan's Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson to follow Michigan law requiring ballot numbering matching, which comes after Benson admitted that her illegal guidance opened the door to fraud. Ballot number matching requirements are common sense safeguards which make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. We will not stop fighting for a secure election in Michigan and across the country. So, big victories. Now, Gateway Pundit put this out, and it was shared in a place that Q-Tips, a place I check. And RNC does not have a single election attorney to prevent voter fraud in Arizona, as 218,000 voters are registered without verifying citizenship. What gives? Well, Gateway Pundit, I would say if you did just a teeny tiny bit of research, you might have been able to answer your own question. I found an article in the New York Times dated September 29th of 2024 talking about 5 court cases to watch ahead of Election Day. And buried down within here is some useful information. Republicans target the voter rolls in Arizona and beyond. Republicans have long complained that large numbers of ineligible voters are on the rolls. But this year, Republican lawsuits aimed at cleaning the rolls have grown exponentially, largely fueled by specious claims that Democrats are registering millions of undocumented immigrants. This month, Strong Communities Foundation of Arizona, a nonprofit led by right-wing operative, filed a lawsuit in state court claiming that Arizona's voter rolls were full of non-citizens. The lawsuit relies on opinion polling and data from other states. It was argued by America First Legal, a group led by Stephen Miller, a close ally of Mr. Trump, who has long backed the hard-line immigration policies. In response, the Democrat National Committee and the Harris-Walz campaign argued that the case violated federal law, barring officials from removing voters from the rolls in the 90 days before an election. In their filing, Democrats questioned the timing. This perplexity strategy begs the question, why? You mean because we don't want you taking advantage of people on the rolls that shouldn't be there? Because we don't trust you, Democratic National Committee / Democrats / people trying to protect democracy? Of course you guys want fake votes in there because it helps you guys. So of course, right? But anyways, I don't know. It seems like there's some stuff going on. Apparently maybe they're doing a divide and conquer. RNC's got as much money as they've got. Well, Stephen Miller's helping out, and he's been very, very helpful in the big picture. So we'll see. Chaos Coordinator was referring to a post by Ling, which said Governor DeSantis signed an executive order prohibiting the emergency management head in Florida from prohibiting the sale of firearms in this now state of emergency. My husband and I both said, what does he know that we don't? Any idea? And of course, Chaos Coordinator said, I said double hitter. This is not okay. I have faith in humanity, even though humans have put me through the ringer. They can govern. Just have a little faith, and don't forget, remember your oath. So, yeah. They, He's making sure people can still purchase firearms while people's properties are potentially going to get looted. This storm is gnarly. I wish I had better updates. I mean, it was changing literally as I was going through the stories. It was changing significantly within hours. I just finally grabbed the last one. We didn't need to walk through all the cat changes. It's friggin' Cat 5. In fact, it's a giant Cat 5 right now. Federal Bureau of Investigation and Department of Homeland Security have issued a public service announcement warning of a possible terrorist attack on the U.S. for the first anniversary of October 7th, 2023. Again, they had no intelligence, no credible intelligence that we understand, or at least that's been shared or communicated. But they just wanted to say, hey, this could be the day. Now, again, I've also said this is an interesting day, so we'll see. So far, I haven't seen anything yet. I do know that Trump went out to New York. So President Trump, he's attending the October 7th commemoration event in Queens. That's to memorialize the fallen people from the Israeli massacre. Now, if there was a place where I would expect some sort of shenanigans, that might be it. But I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully nothing happens. I don't know, the feds are usually not trying to help the situation when they put stuff like that out, like the $150,000 bounty on Trump's head. Ohio cops issued urgent warning over cryptic threatening letters. Check your doorbell cameras, folks. Inside the Ohio ghost town that serves as the 1940s time capsule. Oh, this is something different up there, sorry. So cops issued this urgent warning after several ominous handwritten letters were discovered in mailboxes around an Ohio town. Georgetown Police Department shared an image of one cryptic note sprawled on lined notebook paper written by the self-proclaimed terror of Georgetown. Hey, my siege in this town just started, one of the letters appeared to read, though the handwriting's really hard to read. I mean, you can see it. It's hard as hell to read it. Bodies will fall, but none shall be found. Ask yourself, who's missing? The notes use an eerie blend of cursive and backwards letters. It bears some sort of weird donut-like symbol in the center of the page. Maybe that means something to some of you all. Georgetown Police Department shared the image. They're concerned, to say the least. So anybody out in that neck of the woods, got to be careful what's going on out there. Not sure if this is tied into the Haitians or some other group. Don't know if some group is taking advantage of the Haitian thing. It could be MS-13, or it could be those Tren de Arawa. Could be them. Who knows? Could be any of these crazy things trying to take over a town in Ohio where everyone's going to instantly assume, that was confirmation bias, we're going to assume it's Haiti. They're Haitians. Maybe it is. Don't know. Again, I try really hard to keep an open mind. I don't know what's going on yet, and I'm certainly not going to just assume. But it's probably people up to no good. And it's interesting writing. It looks very, very horrible. This is very interesting. So, again, who knows? Who knows? Keep an eye out there, folks. Again, we don't know exactly what's going on with the economy, but when you talk to people that kind of have their ear to the grindstone or their finger on the pulse of what's going on, it doesn't seem like the economy is going to do well. We know the Israeli war is definitely escalating. We'll talk more about it. We know Russia continues to do things that piss off the deep state. We know the deep state's desperately trying to take away our freedom of speech and our abilities to vote and our abilities to govern. So they're trying to maintain all this stuff. Now they're scared shitless coming up. I got a panic section coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. But we've got potential issues going on with the stock market and the dollar. And Trump is not anywhere to be found until, well, after January, right? So we have some time where things could get bumpy. I personally don't think the stock market's in a good place. I also think the central banks are not a great place either. Both of these things need to transition. Both of these things need to be fixed, and they're both working together in bad ways. There's a giant bubble baked into everything right now, and ultra inflation is happening. Well, ultra's a big, strong word, but changing the rates the way they did, as much as they did, and likely I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again, is actually going to be that final nail on the coffin. Not to mention what's happening in the states, North Carolina as well, what's about to happen to Florida. That's going to be extraordinarily expensive as well, especially when you talk about how FEMA's not going to actually help anybody. We've got more evidence of that. Literally going out of their ways to mess stuff up. We got evidence of it. Actual evidence. People videoing a helicopter effing up a staging location where they were bringing supplies in. Yeah. Unmarked helicopter, so we don't know who's doing it. But it's certainly not a private individual, because we would have been able to figure out who it was. And we can't figure out who it was. And there's people that are pretty sharp about trying to find stuff. And also all these people that say, oh, it was on the flight tracker. I'll check the flight tracker. Look, the government hides stuff on the flight tracker all the time. So just because a military craft doesn't show up on the flight tracker doesn't mean it's not there. And it doesn't mean shit. They take stuff off the flight tracker all the time. Whatever the case is. Giant problems going on. DRSlikesgold.com. It's a way to get out of their system. Tax-free, penalty-free, and quickly, by the way. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of their 401k. Get out of their IRA. Get into a precious metals-backed IRA and protect your wealth. It's what's going on. Your wealth is actually going to get hammered on with inflation and hammered on by the stocks. Stocks drop 5-10%. Your wealth drops 5-10%. Expectations are more of that's coming. Prices of gold and silver have actually been going up quite a bit, and they always do during times of absolute chaos. They even did in 2008. Yeah, and this is going to be probably worse than that, at least the people that are paying attention. This bubble has been extended 4 to 5 years longer than it should have. Bubbles usually last about 8 years. We're about 12 plus into this one. That makes it even worse to try to get out of. And then we know that the central bank is a big question, something that's got to go. I'm telling you, folks, take as much of your wealth with you into this ability to protect it and actually make some money right now because the prices of gold and silver are going up quite a bit. So go to DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of their system while you can, because if not, and it's too late, there's not a lot you can do. The prices of gold and silver are going up constantly, and the value of your portfolio is going down every day. Sometimes waiting any longer is not necessarily a good idea. Well, again, we'll see how far we get into this, but trying to help you guys protect your wealth, trying to help as many people as I can protect your wealth. I'm a proud sponsor of Goldco. Love these guys, and they treat you guys really well. They ask a lot of questions. They've got the best customer service I've seen. DRSlikesgold.com, DRSlikesgold.com. Get out of their system before they get out of you. All right, so more news on Helene. We're going to start there, and then we're going to move into the next storm, Helene, almost 2 weeks ago at this point. Almost 2 weeks. Can you believe that? FEMA abandons devastated North Carolina town residents because it can't drive around a road closed sign. Literally. Batcave, North Carolina. Residents of a tiny North Carolina town that almost totally got destroyed by Hurricane Helene have been fending for themselves after FEMA told them that a road closed sign is an insurmountable obstacle for an agency to navigate. Quote, FEMA called me and told me they wanted to inspect my house, then called me back and said they couldn't drive around the road closed sign. They weren't allowed, is what this local individual said. You can't drive by it he said you can drive by it in a car for sure. It's not that bad. You just have to drive around the road closed signs. I explained that to them. They said they couldn't, she said. Can't go around the sign. He's like, dude, you can drive around. Trust me. The roads are not that bad. You can get around it. You can navigate by vehicle. Nope. Sorry. Can't go past that sign. Sorry. Anybody that's down that road, FEMA can't help because there's a road closed sign there. Just a conversation from an eyewitness firsthand. That's all. Don't worry about that. Here's some more proof, by the way. Here's a helicopter. It's an unmarked military-style helo, flies into a local distribution area, and rotor washes and destroys props. You will see it. You can tell he's doing some weird stuff, and then he does the unthinkable. Check it out. just another example of how somebody in the government, that was a military craft. That's not a private aircraft. It's not, what is that, UH-60? I'm not real good with helicopters, unless it's like, an Apache or whatever, Huey even. All said, that looked intentional. It did a lot of damage. It caused a lot of problems. Definitely didn't look good. Here's FEMA literally blocking a runway where people were organizing and helping fly supplies in and out. FEMA, with multiple helicopters they brought in, literally landed them on the runway so nobody could use it.
What's happening? We're at the airport again. Well, we're at the airport today. Yesterday, they ran like 30-something planes, a bunch of trips up to Western North Carolina, Asheville, that whole area, wherever they can land and drop off supplies. And FEMA has flown in like 10 or more helicopters and blocked a runway here at Greenville downtown. Completely took over, or almost took over the operation, just because they're doing some good here. FEMA's going to come here and try to stop it. And they took over one of the hangars over here too. We'll show you as much as we can. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, here's the helicopters that are blocking one of the runways here at Greenville downtown. All flown in by FEMA helicopter pilots. And they're just sitting there doing nothing. And you have Greenville Aviation over here taking in all kind of supplies, everything that people want to drop off. There's a huge operation going on over here. Yesterday we ran about 30-something planes, or they did, I didn't fly anything, but just putting stuff in planes, taking it up to Asheville and other areas, and they came in and halted. FEMA came in and halted all that operation. And there they are, just sitting over there, doing nothing. When there's thousands of pounds of supplies over there that could be taken, they're just sitting there doing nothing. And blocking the runway with however many helicopters.
So again, it can call everybody liars all you want, but it's people that don't actually have a clue that are saying this. Well, like Karine Jean-Pierre. This is a perfect example. I don't think I have her right here, but perfect example. She actually got a promotion, by the way. She got promoted to senior butthole cleaner or whatever she does. The great people of North Carolina have been stood up by Harris and Biden, who are giving almost all of the FEMA money to illegal migrants in what is now considered to be the worst rescue operation in the history of the U.S. On top of that, billions of dollars is going to foreign countries. North Carolina has been virtually abandoned by Kamala. Drop her like she dropped you. Vote for President Donald Trump. MAGA 2024. Amen to that. Now here's something that's also come out from whitehouse.gov. This is literally, it sounds like they're specifically saying that not-for-profit organizations are not allowed to help. Let's part this blue part here. As far as how we're supporting cities. So as we've done many times in response to repeated attempts by these Republican officials to create chaos and confusion at the border, we are working to manage the consequences of including this latest political charade that we are seeing. So, FEMA regional administrators have been meeting with city officials on site to coordinate available federal support from FEMA and other federal agencies. Funding is also available through FEMA's Emergency Food and Shelter Program to eligible local governments and not-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian reliefs for migrants. Meaning, people that want to come in and volunteer, at least it sounds like to me, people that want to come in and volunteer with nonprofit organizations that are literally trying to help, like what Trump did, they're not allowed to help. We can't take any of your stuff. But yet, FEMA's failing to help these people themselves. Unreal. Biden sends more troops to North Carolina, at least. 2 weeks later, 500 more troops, active duty, to help. There's a bunch of troops in North Carolina, by the way. They got a crap ton of bases there. With a total of 1,500 troops now supplementing a robust on-the-ground effort, including more than 6,100 National Guardsmen and more than 7,000 federal personnel. The Biden-Harris administration is mobilizing all relevant resources to support families as they begin the road to rebuilding. Probably just need more people so they can stop more supplies from coming in from other ways, right? Man, it's just insane, right? It does seem like they're trying to inhibit the movement. So Hurricane Milton is intensifying. It's grown explosively, stronger with 175 mile per hour winds. This is gnarly. This is a huge Cat 5. This will likely be one of the biggest storms to ever strike Florida. It will be the third time a storm that originated in the Gulf will hit Florida. All of this is very strange. Now, what's also very strange is this little thing in front of it. This little thing in front of it that tends to follow the storm. Oddly, it seems like it's steering it. I wish I had some better movement of those maps. But we are seeing this very strange cyclonic thing in front of it. It's like a double storm. And this, however it is creating a separate little storm that, who knows, might either A, just steer the one behind it, or B, because it seems to be steering it, or B, create a double whammy 1-2 punch that they, of course, are going to claim is because of climate change and everything under the sun. Well, everything except the sun, because the sun's been pretty crazy lately. But sure, let's talk about that. Hurricane Milton advisory 10A. Milton explosively intensifies. So yeah, basically that story got updated, which is cool. Oops. We've got this one here. FEMA Disaster Preparedness Meeting happened. We should focus our efforts on LGBTQIA people. They are struggling before the storm. FEMA relief is no longer about getting the greatest good for the greatest amount of people. It's about disaster equity. Yes, literally, this is there. I think I've got this. I thought I had the actual video. I don't, huh? I thought I had the actual video of them. Let's see if I can get to it. I thought we had it. Yeah, you can at least hear him saying it in the video I did have. We'll see if it pops up somewhere. I might have it someplace else. But yeah, they actually say, we should talk about equity, not necessarily helping as many people. He literally said it. Normally, we're about helping as many people as possible, but now we should be about helping equity through equity or in an equitable fashion, which means this tiny number of LGBTQI plus whatever, this tiny number of people should somehow get preferential treatment over the masses. This is democracy that they're trying to protect, by the way. Not going to happen, but we'll see if I have that video. If I do, I'll play it. Milton rapidly intensifies Cat 5. Again, Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that Milton has strengthened to a Cat 5. It was at 160 then. It's already at 175. It's probably even higher at this point. It is getting insane. Here is the movement of this little thing that seems to be steering it. Now, we only got 3 seconds of it, which is a little bit of a bummer. But you can see that it's got this little weird thing in front of it, and it seems to be feeding it for sure, making this even stronger. This is going to be a horrendously bad storm. I've got some very close people to the channel. A-Score, Nana, you guys, prayers go out to you. I got a bunch of you guys, I think, that live out in the Florida area. So my heart goes out to you guys big time, and my prayers to you as well. And I don't know if it's a good idea to stick around, guys. They're definitely talking evacuations. If you live anywhere near this Tampa area where I think it's supposed to make landfall, it could be very, very bad. And again, Second Amendment stuff, and we're going to have to do more donations, which, by the way, Trump's thing that he did, the donations have been extraordinary. We'll get there in a second. Now, Florida's Division of Emergency Management Director Kevin Guthrie, he said he highly encourages people to evacuate. I'm going to let their words stand because this is what they're supposed to be doing.
I urge Floridians to finalize your storm preparations now, enact your plan. I highly encourage you to evacuate. We are preparing, and I have the State Emergency Response Team preparing for the largest evacuation that we have seen most likely since 2017 Hurricane Irma. But to that end, I want to go back to our basics. Evacuate if you're in an evacuation zone. If you're not in an evacuation zone and your house was built in conjunction with the Florida Building Code, which pretty much throughout the state of Florida means after 2004, you may be better just to stay in place. If you're dependent on power, you will need to evacuate. If you're dependent on a special set of circumstances, you'll need to evacuate. But if you're not one of those individuals and you're inland, not in an evacuation zone, it may be better for you to just stay in place. I urge Floridians
No, that's cool. I didn't realize that stay in place part, especially if you were built after 2004, I think is what they said. This just reminds me, I wasn't going to plug these guys today per se, but I should be. But energytech.com, again, for emergencies like this is power. It's 1,500 watts. It's quite a bit of power, and you can handle up to 3,000 watt loads. Again, I know there's people that have CPAPs and stuff like that where electricity is a major concern. You can actually charge with solar with this device, which you wouldn't do in the middle of the storm, but after could. So again, there's ways to get around some of this stuff. I would check it out at least. It's not cheap, but it's also extremely good. It's even made in a metal case, which actually creates an EMP protection. It's a Faraday cage around it. So very, very highly well made. It's made for the U.S. military, and it's made in the United States rather than the EcoFlow that's made in China. This is actually made right here in the good old U.S. of A. Energy Tech, INERGYTEK. energytech.com/on the fringe. energytech.com/on the fringe. Guarantee that you at least have some backup power no matter what. These will run refrigerators. I ran a flat screen TV. It'll run a bunch of stuff. You can charge up whatever. You can run your CPAP. I think it's up to almost 18 hours it'll run one of those. So it's pretty powerful. And for RVers, this is a great thing to have as a little backup bit of battery, especially with the solar panel actions. You can actually charge this thing in about 3 to 4 hours with 4 solar panels. It's the max you can do to it. It took about 10 hours when I plugged it in. So it charges fast on solar too. So it's an amazingly awesome product. So go to energytech.com/on the fringe. That's energytech.com/on the fringe. All right, let's do this. Just some fun stuff to make fun of people for, all the right reasons. Billions of dollars given to Zelensky in Ukraine. Billions of dollars given to migrants that are not here legally. Billions of dollars given to Iran. $750 to people that literally lost everything they have in North Carolina. But billions of dollars everywhere else. That's okay. That's all right. Now, sure. Here's another funny one. FEMA giving hurricane victims where there's no banks, stores, or electricity a $750 debit card. Best part of that, the $750 debit card, the best part is they got to mail it to you, don't they? Because you have to fill all the stuff out online, and then what? They mail it to you? So is your mail going to get delivered? How's that going to work? Does it show up at the post office and you've just got to hope you can get it from there? All of this is stupid. President Biden, he approves Florida's emergency declaration. That would have been so douchey if he's like, yep, sorry, Florida, F you. Pretty much what you did to North Carolina. Now, again, discussions about the fact that he didn't tell North Carolinians that they should evacuate. Supposedly that's supposed to come from the federal government, not the state per se. But I think DeSantis is smart. He just said declaring an emergency before anybody else does because, one, it helps him get stuff moving. And two, he's not going to wait on the federal government. We know the federal government is pointless, is stupid, is a waste of time, much like Kamala. So while people are starving in North Carolina, while there's a storm that's barreling in towards Florida that's going to probably take lives of many people, Kamala Harris went on some Call Her Daddy show that she's very proud of. And we're talking about, tampons.
Outrageous, daddy gang, to put it in our TikTok terms. I have seen girls on the street walk up to men and be like, do you know where a tampon goes? Do you know how many tampons we use? Do you even know how, do you know what a X or Y or Z is of a part of our, and they don't know the answer.
I was the first vice president or president to ever in office go to a reproductive health care clinic, ever.
She actually believes this is helping her. I can't imagine it does, but again, she's going to get a lot of votes from women because she's a woman. She's going to get a lot of votes from black people because she's black, sort of. And she's going to get a lot of votes from people that are Indian because she's Indian. She might have pissed them off, though, by kind of sort of not really talking about that part of her anymore, but whatever. Here's the video. Here's the FEMA disaster preparedness meeting. I think I moved it here because it makes them look bad, and it's kind of better here. I didn't realize I had that second slide, but you'll hear them say it now, and then it'll just make you more upset.
Sparked a few things in my mind, thinking about preparedness and how you said, LGBTQIA people and people who have been disadvantaged already are struggling. They already have their own things to deal with. So you add a disaster on top of that, it's just compounding on itself. And I think that is maybe the why we're having these discussions, is because it isn't being talked about. It isn't being socialized. We're not paying attention to this community. Thank you so much. Maggie.
Thank you. Yeah, there are a couple of things that are intersecting in my mind here. One of them is the culture of emergency management as an organization, as an industry in the United States specifically, not abroad. This has, and my cat sometimes does this, she gets really loud suddenly, so you'll have to just allow for the little meowing in the background. The shift that we're seeing right now is a shift in emergency management from utilitarian principles where everything is designed for the greatest good for the greatest amount of people to disaster equity. But we have to do more, right? And so this topic is intersecting, I think, with a number of other topics where we have to look at policies and understand to what extent they have disadvantaged communities that had less assets, communities that had pre-existing vulnerabilities in accessing disaster-related recovery supports.
Again, that's just insane. This is, I'm going to play like a minute plus of this, but this is at an airport. This is kids that are literally being smuggled in with like one adult from an airport. Sort of unaccompanied. They've got someone with them that's probably not related. Like I said, I'm going to play about a minute of this.
Hey, where are you guys moving these kids to? Whoa. Where are you guys moving these kids to? Hey, where are you guys moving these kids to in this black car? Hey man, where is this going? Where is this driving to?
Just roll up the window, man.
Dude, I can blur your face. This is not looking good. Just all I'm asking is where this is going to, because a lot of these kids go missing. Where is this going to? That's all I want to know.
Okay, so where you working for? Who you working for? Roll up the window.
I'm independent media. And I've done a lot of work on this. My videos have millions of views. This is gonna look really bad if you roll up the window. Where are you guys taking these kids? That's all we want to know. Where are the kids going?
Okay, what do they tell you?
They won't tell me anything. Look, he's telling me to roll up the window.
Okay.
He's telling me to roll up the window. Where are you taking these kids? It's gonna look really bad if you roll up that window, bro. Where are you taking the kids to?
Okay, so who do you work for?
I'm independent. I work for myself. I'm an independent news reporter. Where are you going, man? Who do you... Whoa.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry. No, I have to put
Where
the
you
window
going?
up.
Where are you taking these kids to?
Sorry, buddy.
Oh my God. Hey, where are you guys flying to today? Where are you guys driving to?
Why?
Well, a lot of these kids, a third of these kids, according to the New York Times, go missing.
Oh, well, not these.
Not these?
They're with us.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I'm just curious. You guys going to a foster home?
No, sir. It doesn't matter where they're going.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to.
Well, how can we guarantee this kid's safety? Because you're not going to check up on them, right?
You don't know that.
Well, there's a 30-day wellness check that happens after you drop them off, right? And a third of those calls go unanswered.
You don't know what we're doing, so thank you.
Do you work with MVM or Southwest Key? Hola. Whoa, do you tell these kids not to talk?
Yeah.
You tell these kids not to talk?
Ask my permission to be on.
Well, this is a one-party.
It's
a one-party consent state in New York. This is a public place. Unfortunately, I'll give you some space. That's fine. Hola.
Again, so there he starts talking to them in Spanish. None of them talk to him. So this is happening. They're literally trafficking children. This is a big part of why they can't have us talking about stuff. We'll get there in a second. But we've got DeSantis refusing to take Harris's call on Hurricane Helene. She's just doing it for political reasons, is his thinking, and didn't take the call. He's got more important things to do or deal with. So we'll see. This is amazing. And this is someone that's extraordinarily pissed at the black community for sure. I don't know who Yudi or Mama Todd are. I'm assuming they're black. I don't know who they are. But this lady's brilliant. She says the F word a bunch of times. So if you guys are sensitive to that, you're not going to like this. But this is, I think, powerful to hear. And I think the left needs to understand that they are being destroyed.
You're joking, right? Hi, my name is The Cosmopolitan. My degrees are in political science, legal studies with a concentration in criminal law, philosophy with a concentration in ethics. My degrees come from the University of Cape Town in South Africa, the University of Roehampton in England, and Manhattanville College in New York. Anybody and everybody that currently is stitching Officer Yudi, as well as Mama Tot, saying they don't have the right to say what they're saying, doesn't have the right to speak on this motherfucking government. 9 times out of 10, I could currently put you on a hotspot and currently offer you $1 million. You wouldn't be able to recite your constitution if your life depended on it. But you have the audacity and the caucasity to comment on these two big creators that are speaking their mind about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. As somebody from North Carolina, I'm just curious, what the fuck are you doing? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris didn't make one visit to Georgia, Tennessee, or North Carolina. $167 million was signed at the same time that a $750 credit was given to the American people that they have to apply for, with no power, no electricity, or anything else in between. But your fucking Kamala Harris went to California and Joe Biden made sure that they had 750. Oh, don't forget the 1,000 troops that they're about to send. What the fuck is 1,000 troops going to do for over 60,000 people without power? We've got 1 million struggling. Joe, Lloyd Austin, and Kamala Harris signed off on 43,000 troops at the same time as Helene going off, being sent to the Middle East, as if we need a war right now. Some of you creators that think you are currently doing something for politics are just doing the same shit that you're complaining about. Bitching. I don't give a fuck how big your account is. I don't give a fuck how big of a creator you are. I will shut this shit down and embarrass the fuck out of you if you keep going out of your way showing that 60% of American people don't read above a 6th grade reading level. If you are black going after Yudi or Mama Tot over what they said about Joe Budden and fucking Kamala Harris, there were black people in North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. I wonder why you don't see them on the fucking screens. This isn't the first time that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have dropped the ball on showing their respect to American people. Fuck y'all. 20 black people in the first year of working for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris decided to quit. You don't talk about that. 3 black soldiers, U.S. soldiers, were killed in Jordan, and they don't mention their names once in an airstrike. You don't talk about that. We lost hundreds of Americans in the evacuation of Afghanistan, and there was no evacuation because we still have military bases being hit there. And this situation in Lebanon, Iran, and all the other countries that Israel is dealing with is something that Joe Biden conjured up in 1973 to 1999 and situated it through finishing the final addings of countries into NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which only had 18 countries when he was senator at 1991, and Senate gets to decide who's in those agreements. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are a disgrace to this country. And if you haven't looked up Kamala Harris's family tree to understand what the fuck Candace Owens just came across after speaking to her family, Kamala Harris is lying to you straight into your face. So do me a favor. If you think that somebody speaking their mind, which falls under the freedom of speech, is currently going against misinformation or is misinformation, bring it to me. But again, if you stitched Officer Yudi or Mama Tot, and I see your video up currently promoting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in this situation, I'm going to make sure every single person that was hit by Helene currently takes down your fucking video and anything else. Keep playing with me. Y'all keep making TikTok shit into real life shit. You weren't affected by this. Don't open your big ass mouth looking like fucking Big Bird, thinking you know exactly how the fuck we feel. I have to go back and help my people because there was not enough aid. FEMA is running out of money, and they've been running out of money for a year. And let's be very clear, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris didn't send a fucking warning out to evacuate those people. That's not up to the states. That was your government. Fuck y'all.
She's angry for the right reasons, that's for sure. For the right reasons. Trump's $1 million fundraiser. He was only hoping to raise $1 million for Helene victims. It's nearing $7 million. So well done for all you guys out there that have helped out with this. This is fantastic. So again, this is what real help is about. Not what the stupid government's trying to do or claiming to do or lying about or whatever. Now, Telegram app hosts underground markets for Southeast Asian crime gangs, they're now telling us. Powerful criminal networks in Southeast Asia extensively use the messaging app Telegram, which has enabled a fundamental change in the way organized crime can conduct large-scale illicit activity, the United Nations said. So the United Nations is now attacking Telegram. Now, again, for a lot of countries in the world, this is probably going to get banned. They better not here, but we do know that we've got people like Hillary Clinton going out of her damn way to try to talk people into banning any of us that disagree, and how dangerous and scared they are.
But if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. And it's not just the social and psychological effects, it's real harm.
Real harm to you guys. Yeah, you guys are probably going to find out some really messed up stuff after treason is pushed on you, especially you, Hillary, especially you. So listen to Russian president's words like never before. Now, again, another site that they hate is RT. RT News, I like it. It's very pro-Russian. I know that when I get the articles, but I also like it because I'm curious to see what they have to say. Which, again, is what freaks out Hillary Clinton. They want to control that angle. They want Putin to always look like this ravenous dog. But when we can actually hear Putin's words and we can hear them translated into English and literally hear what he's saying, we start to realize he actually sounds kind of like Trump. He sounds a little bit like Viktor Orban. He sounds a little bit like a lot of these good people that are out there. And that's the problem for the deep state. It's malinformation is what it is. And they've stopped using the term because the actual definition of malinformation makes it look really bad on them. Meaning, we're not letting you talk about this because it looks bad on us. It's true what you're saying, but it looks bad on us. Yeah, Hillary, you guys look horrible because you're an evil, worthless individual. And the truth needs to come out, especially for those that are in the dark arts or very heavily down the dark path. Yes, the light shall shine on you brightly. And it might burn. I'm not sure how that feels when you're as dark as some of you guys are. Anti-energy lawfare is now occurring. There's millions of dark money being funneled into local climate lawsuits across the country, obviously happening in battleground states, happening on companies that are just trying to do the best they can. And they literally are getting sued by this dark money that's coming in from other countries that's literally destroying our world. Our world. This is, I don't mean I don't like pollution. I'd love to see us get better at curbing pollution. But the way that the deep state / Democrats have gone about it is let's shut down everything and then we'll figure out how to make it better. And that's stupid. Make it more efficient. We've already got the cleanest coal burning plants in the world. The other side of it, if you're just going to force us to do this and the Western world, and you're not going to force China and India, then you have done nothing. Zero to help the planet. Because we're going to keep buying our shit. So all we're doing is offsetting our pollution to another location in the world. We all share the same air. This is just insanity. So, no, I don't like the way that the left is attempting to solve this problem. First off, I question a lot of the science they're even using to prove that we've got a problem to begin with. I do think that there's things happening on this planet, that weather is getting more extreme, and I do think our magnetic field is weakening, which would play a part in that too. But they can't have it be that, because then it's like we might actually be aware of the fact that we've got a problem. So let's make up some bullshit. Let's try to get everybody to give all their money and control and power to us, and we'll just watch them die when this thing spews out a coronal mass ejection, that kill shot that many have suggested might come one day. So yeah, this is how the game is played against us. Kash Patel says he was there when Nancy Pelosi called for tanks, I guess, on January 6th. Anyway, I want to hear what he's got to say. Check this out.
Yeah, look, Nancy Pelosi and company wanted to turn downtown Washington, D.C. into downtown Kandahar. They literally called, and I was there with the chief, as chief of staff for DOD. They called the SecDef and the chairman, and Pelosi said, "We want tanks." And we said, "What? You want an A1 Abrams tank? Where are we going to put this, Madam Speaker? And are we going to use a tank on American citizens at the United States Capitol? Of course not. So we didn't do it because it was a disgusting politicization of the day. And it shows you the liars that Nancy Pelosi has now been caught in. And these are the people that wanted to kneecap Donald Trump. It's no different, unfortunately, for guys like Mike Flynn, who were illegally unmasked And his name was sent to the media, which was a felony to disclose that kind of classified information. And then, again, what did they do? Just like they did with impeachment 1, they gave a piece of the transcript so they could target someone politically instead of actually using the Constitution to target criminals. And his life was turned upside down. And it wasn't until 3 years later, when I was the deputy director of national intelligence, that we declassified all the information the FBI withheld from the American public, because they exposed their corruption. And in it was Mike Flynn's own innocence. They withheld it from him, just like they did during the Russiagate scandal and the FISA court warrant application for Carter Page. This is the DOJ FBI playbook. They will use government tactics and classification systems to hide their corruption. They've done it for years, and Donald Trump's the only force that can break through it. And so all these things stitched together. They might be different acts in different years, but they are all the same cover-up tactics from these government gangsters. And that's why we got to go out there and give the people the truth. That's what we're about, and that's what we're doing.
I don't think I had the article, but Trump did finally confirm that a lot of the people that we like, and he knows who we like, and he likes them too, they're going to be back in his next administration. He didn't drop any names, but Kash Patel is one of the names. Rick Grenell was one of the names. So there's a bunch of people that are almost assuredly going to be there. Now, let's talk about some panic that's occurring. This one's going to be kind of fun for me. I'm not going to play this video, but Michael Cohen tells Sackface that President Trump will use SEAL Team 6 to round up critics and opponents. Now, this is the big thing they're talking about. He's going to use Navy SEAL Team 6 to take these people down. Now, there's a lot of people that are like, didn't SEAL Team 6 die? My understanding, you guys correct me please out there, I am not a military guy. I'm certainly not going to pretend I was a Navy SEAL ever. But my kind of understanding is that Team 6 was a secret team that Obama ousted and should never have ousted. And then from that point, apparently there was something put on their head. But I don't think that every team that's ever existed gets numbered. I think the teams are like 1 through 6 or higher probably are classifications, qualifications, like how much secret stuff you can actually handle versus maybe some of the earlier teams or the lower number teams that maybe handle different stuff, or even they might even break it down into duty, like what, some people might be escort and stuff. Some people might actually be, black ops. Some people might specialize in like Navy and blowing up boats and crap like that. So my understanding is the numbers are more like that. The guy's like, didn't they all die? And I'm like, I don't know, because if it went by total team numbers, wouldn't we have like SEAL Team 78 and SEAL Team 104 and SEAL, right? Like, because we've had a lot of SEALs and a lot of teams throughout the years. So I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong on that, but crazy stuff going on. But yeah, they're freaking out, making up stories too. This is, do I want to play this? Now, Brian Stelter explains Dark MAGA and says Elon Musk has been radicalized because he wants accountability in government. He also says Musk's comments at the Trump rally have dangerous consequences. And it's so satisfying watching these people shit themselves over Trump and Elon teaming up for Donald J. Trump's retribution presidency. And it probably will be. I mean, it's not a good way to sell it to the other side of the fence, but I think most of us at this point are like, nope, we'll just keep pushing with the numbers, keep doing what we're doing. And the people that are left on the other side are going to, we'll see how they react and how they respond. Diddy's celebrity accomplices have quietly paid off victims to avoid being named publicly, a lawyer is claiming. He's saying some celebrities who risked being caught up in the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs have already settled with victims in an effort to keep their names out of the spotlight. Tony Busby told TMZ major celebrities are scrambling amid concerns they could soon face serious allegations themselves. Diddy has been charged with a host of sex trafficking and racketeering offenses, with upwards of 120 victims already coming forward. But according to Busby, some celebrities could avoid public retribution because they got on the front foot. Everyone is focused on what other celebrities were involved, who is going to be named, who is going to be outed. I don't expect that to happen this week, he said. We want to make sure if we name individuals beyond Mr. Combs that we have done our homework, because it is going to create a firestorm, and we understand that. If you were there in the room, participated, watched it happen, and didn't say anything or help cover it up, in my view, you have a problem. Busby vows to pursue the cases against any offender aggressively and said the scope was broad. So they're going after him hard, big time. This is interesting panic as well. We need all hands on deck before tonight's debate. 800% match. So this was the Democrat voters' pack, and supposedly Obama was behind this. And they were offering an 800% match to any money donated. So if you donate $100, they'll match it 800%. $800 they'll pay. So there's some more probably dark money, or a PAC anyways, that's trying to get people to donate because they're having a hard time getting people to donate. I don't know if a PAC can donate themselves without others. I think they can, but nah. Here is something that, I don't know, might be sensitive to some of you guys. Like I've said before, I've been in theater and stuff my whole life. I've got one of my best friends is gay. Like I don't know. I've had a lot of gay people in my life. So I don't know. It doesn't bug me. I also have a transgender niece right now too. So I'm very confused in the world right now. I love everybody. I feel bad that this young lady has chosen to do what she's done, and whatever. That's neither here nor there. But this is a group of people that typically we associate with Democrats and typically would have been. But it's a group of people that are distancing themselves from all the different alphabets that are out there, all the pluses and all the weird stuff. They're like, no, that's not us. We're separate from that. And I think this is part of their panic. They're losing huge swaths of groups of people that they once owned, and they don't own them anymore.
I don't recall my gay rights being taken away from me when Trump was president. I'm gay, not stupid.
I'm just saying, I'm gay, I'm not stupid. Make America great again.
As a mother of 4 and a grandmother to 3, I know I'm sure ready for safer communities, cheaper gas, and food. I'm gay, not stupid. That's why I'm voting Trump Vance this election.
Here in Colorado, we understand the detriments of Democratic policy. That's why I'm voting for Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in November. I'm gay, not stupid.
I'm gay, not stupid. I'm voting for Donald Trump.
I'm gay, I'm not stupid, and that's why I'm voting for Donald J. Trump.
I'm voting for Trump because I'm not better off now than I was 4 years ago. I'm gay, not stupid.
I'm gay, not stupid. I'm voting Donald Trump.
Gay, I'm not stupid, I'm voting for Trump.
Trump 2024 means a strong economy and safe borders. It's common sense. I'm gay, not stupid.
I'm gay, not stupid. I'm voting Donald Trump.
President Trump is the most pro-gay president in United States history. I'm gay, not stupid. Vote Trump on November 5th.
I'm gay, not stupid, and that's why I'm voting for Donald Trump.
I'm voting Trump Vance this election. I'm gay, not stupid.
I'm gay, not stupid. I'm voting for Trump.
I might be gay, but I'm not stupid. I already voted Trump.
Let's make America great again and say no to communism. We're gay, not stupid. I'm voting for Trump because I'm gay, not stupid.
I'm gay, not stupid. Trump 2024.
We're gay, but we're not stupid.
Trump 2024, baby. I mean, come on, I'm gay, not stupid.
I'm gay, not stupid. I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Again, I understand that might have made some people uncomfortable, and some apologies to a degree, but at the same time, I think it's important. And I think I've probably got some gay community in my audience, I assume. New York City Deputy Mayor for Public Safety Philip C. Banks has resigned, bowing to weeks of mounting pressure amid federal investigations surrounding both him and his close friend, Mayor Eric Adams. Another one bites the dust, it seems, from his administration. I'm doubtful that Eric Adams is actually as clean as we want to think. The timing of this was interesting, but at the same time, this is actually going to demonstrate the corruption within New York. So I kind of am having a hard time not seeing this as a giant positive. SCOTUS lets stand Texas court order hospitals not to require to do abortions, violating state law. So long story short, Texas passed a law that said they don't have to perform abortions in the emergency room, emergency abortions, and they said it violated state law. The Supreme Court basically rejected it. It seems they didn't make a decision. Well, they announced the decision without detailing their reasoning. So they're just like, yeah, no, the court did properly in Texas, and that was it. Whatever the case is, I think a lot of people, this is a contentious topic for sure. But again, I'm like Trump in a big way. The states need to decide this. Each state needs to decide it for themselves, and their population needs to be accepting and come to terms with it. And some states, like California, will probably give you like, a free wristband and give you like a roller coaster ride at first, and then you'll have an abortion right after. It'll be this great fun time you do at Disneyland. Sure. But other states are going to be like, no, this is going to play out the way it's supposed to, I think. And I think it's cool. The Wellness Company, guys, it's just another great company that can help keep you healthy and safe. TWC.health/OTF. That's the Wellness Company, TWC.health/OTF. Again, great supplements. The one I always like to point out, they've got a bunch, by the way, and I highly recommend you dig through them. But the spike support formula, it's actually literally designed to connect to that cleavage site on the spike protein. So it literally connects to that and then removes it from your system. This thing actually helps keep you from getting sick. It also binds to places where those might try to bind as well, and they inhibit it from binding. So this is a very interesting formula that helps remove the spikes from your system to get them out. You're married to somebody that maybe rolled up their sleeve. Maybe you rolled up your sleeve a couple times even, right? This is something that will help get that out of there. And also, because we know, they got more kits, looks like. Nice. Med replenishment kit. Oh, nice. So I think once you buy a kit, they actually have a replenishment kit. That's cool. I want to click on that because this is new. Peace of mind, quick and easy. Don't hesitate to use your medications. Early intervention's best. So replenishments can be ordered up to 2 years after the kit purchase. Awesome. I didn't know that. This is new stuff. So the Contagion kit's the one I like to point out. It's a very awesome kit if a viral infection occurs to you or a family member. Now, this kit is supposedly good for one person, but I think it's questionable. I think probably 2 people could hang under this umbrella. But you've got ivermectin, 25 tablets. You've got hydroxychloroquine, 20 tablets. You've got the generic Z-Pack, 12 tablets, and you actually get that at a huge discount. They got Tamiflu. They got 10 tablets of that, which is a very powerful antiviral medication as well. And then they've got this this generic Pulmicort, and it's basically a corticosteroid. You inhale it. They've got the nebulizer as well, and it helps with that upper respiratory stuff. This is the one, like if you get the viral infection, call it whatever weird name they're running around, this is the one, the Contagion kit, that is going to be a huge benefit. The medical emergency kit's super amazing as well, and that's got like antibiotics and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's kind of an important one. They have a kids emergency kit, which is also new. They have a travel emergency kit, which if you're somebody that spends any significant amount of time in a vehicle, or maybe your wife or whatever driving the kids around, might want to consider one of those for her vehicle for sure. I mean, guys, sometimes we'll sacrifice for ourselves. I get that. But you want to check it out. Go to twc.health/OTF. twc.health/OTF. Protect yourself, folks, because we know the government is not necessarily looking out for us. We're just seeing too much examples of that, and what we went through in the COVID days also would indicate they weren't looking out for us. U.S. is giving Israel's compensation if it does what U.S. wants. Meaning there's certain targets that U.S. is like, don't hit this target. And the nuclear facility is definitely one of them. Now, that likely could very well create World War III scenario. I'm very curious to see how Israel handles this attack. Only one individual, I think, was injured. Nobody died. During 180 missiles were fired at it, which is kind of weird. A few of them hit, for sure, but only one person was injured. So I'm not sure how severe it needs to be. I know it needs to show something. So again, last time they blew up the anti-air defense system outside the nuclear facility, basically demonstrating to Iran, look, we can hit that. Now, supposedly, and I don't have any proof of this, but supposedly Iran did use some of its newer hypersonic missiles in this attack against Israel to kind of make a point that we've also got some stuff that you haven't seen that's very, very good. Again, don't know how much truth there is to that. It's much like, everyone says you can't trust Russia when they say stuff. But you can't trust Iran when they say stuff. And you can't really trust anyone when they say stuff when it comes to the governments of the world right now. None of them are being honest with us. So this is a mess, yeah. Did Iran conduct an underground nuclear test on Saturday night? Measured earthquake in the region suggests, yeah, there was an intensity of 4.5 on the Richter scale. Guarantee you that we will not get to see the graph, the seismic whatever. That graph would show an immediate giant spike, and then it would fade. That's how explosions look, not earthquakes. Earthquakes ramp up. It might ramp up quick, but it ramps up. There's an initial part that's lower than the boom, the big thump that happens in an earthquake. That is the big part, and then everything kind of tapers from there. Explosions don't do that. They don't have a ramp up. They immediately go big and then taper off. So we won't get to see it, but there's a strong chance that this earthquake was them testing a nuclear weapon before Israel does their attack to kind of let everybody know we already got them. In fact, one might assume, I think this is the first test they've done, so I would hope they've got large amounts of the product from their standpoint, because otherwise that was stupid. If you only have enough to make one bomb and you test that bomb and that's it, now you got to spend another multiple months trying to get enough to get another bomb. That's a bad way to go about it. So I'm assuming Israel's managed to get enough fuel for multiple bombs and probably have already built them. We'll see. Hezbollah rockets hit Israel's Haifa in the first direct attack on the city on the anniversary of the October 7th attack. So this is one thing that happened. We kind of figured maybe there'd be some stuff in Israel. Some of it came through, some of it landed. It seemed like a bunch of these cities weren't very heavily defended by Iron Dome or anything like that. Maybe they're just outside the range. Maybe they're not necessarily of high enough strategic importance. Whatever the case was, they supposedly shot down some of the missiles. Some still landed. We'll see what happens. Again, it's hard to believe anything, but definitely some landed in these two towns, Haifa and this was on the Lebanese border, and on Israel's Mediterranean coast, a base got hit, Tiberias, 5 hit over there, I guess, Tiberias, about 40 miles away from this location. So there was 2 cities that got attacked. I'm sure that's not going to not make their response less or anything. Victor Bout. He's the notorious Russian arms dealer that was released from prison, and we released him in a prisoner exchange. See, they had someone of super importance, this super-duper spy. They had skills beyond... No, it wasn't. It was actually a dude that was subpar at basketball that played for a women's team and called himself a female. We got that individual back, and we gave them a weapons dealer, essentially. A major weapons dealer. Dude's like Mr. Death or Dr. Death, Merchant of Death, they call him. And he went back immediately to selling weapons. So we got Brittany Griner back. Yay. They got the Merchant of Death. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of feel like that's not a fair trade. Maybe we gave them money too, right? Right? That'd make more sense. That's what we should have done. We should have given Russia money and the Merchant of Death to get such an awesome, needed individual back. Someone that was stupid enough to take marijuana to Russia. You frickin' tard. I don't care who you think you are or how popular you think you are. That's a bad idea. Diddy hotline? Well, the fact that he's trans too, supposedly. Well, he's totally a dude, though. I've seen pictures of him with the shirt off, whatever the case is. Nah. Diddy hotline gets 12,000 calls in 24 hours after the lawyer opened up the tip line. Yeah, a lot of people are wondering who else is going to get named in all this. We kind of talked about this earlier, so probably should have been over here to begin with. Supreme Court rejects R. Kelly's appeal of his federal sex crimes conviction. And again, here's the thing. You might feel bad about what you did, and that's great. You can basically pray to God or whatever and ask for forgiveness, and Jesus will forgive you. That's fantastic. But you still need to pay the price for the crime. You did the crime, you got to do the time. And so that's kind of how that works, buddy. So again, anybody that's been on the aggressive side of any of this stuff, I think unfortunately you're going to have to pay the price. Now, people, and I'm curious to see, I hope it's true. And it's not like I'm a fan, but I'm becoming one. So this is why it's strange. But Justin Bieber, never liked him. Never. A couple songs. He did a great one with Ed Sheeran. I think it's kind of what got me thinking in this direction. And they had the panda thing in there. And so I think these dudes have both been molested. I think that's where the panda comes into, is the molestation. And we have people that are guilty of doing that to these people. And that's what they got brought to parties for. And they probably learned really quickly, don't drink the alcohol because it's probably got stuff in it. There's also a lot of people that think maybe the ketamine's actually in all those Johnson & Johnson baby oil bottles. Maybe that's actually just ketamine. like lots of it. I don't know if anyone bothered to test it. It seems strange there'd be that much lube, especially something like that that's not actually good for sex. Like, right? You want anybody that knows, you want something that's water-based if you're going to be using any sort of lube. Otherwise, yeah, not a mineral-based. That'll like cause major chafing, burning, itching, all sorts of problems. Not good. Not the way to go. Verizon was down apparently this morning. Odd places, though. This is the main reason I brought it up, because I don't know, it wasn't that many phones, I don't think, but it was New York City, Washington, D.C., and Phoenix. Very strange in my mind. Those are the three locations that had issues or had customers complaining on Down Detector that Verizon wasn't working. New York City, Washington, D.C., and Phoenix. Easily the largest phone operator, I believe, out there. So the largest number of people with phones would have Verizon. Now, most iPhones started off on AT&T, so I know there's a lot there, but all said, it's interesting. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we hear anything outside of that. Spacecraft is apparently on its way to that harmless asteroid that got slammed into with some technology that we slammed a rocket into it. It didn't behave the way they wanted. Now they're sending another another spacecraft. It's a European spacecraft. It was launched from SpaceX. I don't know if it was Florida. Yeah, I think it launched from Cape Canaveral. And they are going to try to fly back around this asteroid and see if they can get a close-up look at it. So it must be making another pass reasonably close. And they're going to try to see if they can see what damage they actually did versus what they've been able to see from telescopes and stuff like that. I think what we kind of found out was that asteroids are actually not really made up of solid rock as much as we thought, but a lot of conglomerations of rock that has over time, as more of it has amassed, it's started to kind of take on its own gravity, but sort of loose gravity at that. So I think that's kind of what we found out, and if that's the case, at least with those types of asteroids, we're going to have a hard time deflecting them. That ain't going to happen, because you just just go in and absorb it in a weird kind of way, and it wouldn't really produce the effect that you would want. This is horrific. I don't want to play it. I thought a lot about it, but this dude's a trip. Literally burned his arm, and then the guy like wipes on it to put the fire out, and then the way he wipes it off, like I think he literally removed his skin. Because when you burn that badly, like his whole arm's like white now. I don't know what's going on, but the dude like literally wrapped something around it and then pulled down, and that likely removed all the skin, because that was probably all bubbled up and gross anyway. But yeah, he's a mess, and I don't know. It's nasty. And he was some media dude saying that the media's been lying, and he was upset, which is cool all. This is Phoenix, Arizona, by the way. Almost wonder if that's why this got shut down. And maybe they were planning on doing something in New York and D.C. when it comes to the October 7th, and maybe that didn't happen. I don't know. There's a lot of things I'm wondering about with that outage. But this happened out in Phoenix, one of the places where the outage occurred. And this dude is, he's a mess. He got fired, by the way. He was a cameraman or a photographer or whatever for KTVK and KPHO. He's now been fired for this incident. Again, just gnarly. I don't want to keep watching. That's disgusting. But yeah. And again, folks, I just want to remind you how you can help the channel. I got a good friend that's helping me do this, so it's really going to help her family too. It helps the channel as well. And it gets you some really cool stuff that is promoting awesome messages. One, it's promoting like my channel, for one. Stuff up top, The Great Awakening. You're ready for it. DRS, just give people a chance to remember Dan Radio Style or On the Fringe. Hopefully both are on there, but the OTF Army of Enlightenment. I've been Dan Radio Style forever. That's my YouTube channel for any of you guys that are curious. I did a lot of manifesting videos. I think I've got over 1,000. And I've been doing every Saturday. I've been started anyways recently. Been doing a new video, so that's been fun. So DRS, you can get all that good stuff. We've also got 9/11 Never Forget. We got those shirts out right now, which are very, very cool. We got sweatshirts, t-shirts, tank tops. We pretty much got all the same shirts for all this stuff. You know, we print them ourselves, so that's kind of how this is playing out. We've also got the fight from the first assassination attempt. And so we've got that, Ephesians 6:11, talking about the armor of God and all that great stuff. There's a lot of really cool stuff on the backs of these too. These guys have all sorts of like information. Put on the full armor of God, and it's got the Ephesians 6:11, the fight the people, USA. Again, just a lot of very, very cool stuff that helps promote the big picture. And then the 5G warfare, which was our first real generation of shirt. and stuff, has the back as well, explains people the generations of warfare. Go to truththread.shop, truththread.shop. Try to get pictures to us if you can too. I tend to make a movie. I've made 2 of them so far with all you guys. But yeah, try to get images sent in of you wearing them, hopefully, or if not, just, it can be even, or even, you don't have to have your head in it if you don't want. Just a lot of people just show their boobs area, frankly, because there's writing there, I assume is why, more so than just the boobs part. Truththread.shop. That's truththread.shop. We've got a lot going on, folks, and the world is changing quickly. We need to be a little agile, and we need to be helping out our fellow man as much as we can as we go through these tough times. Keep everyone in mind. Keep everyone in your prayers. Florida, God bless you. Godspeed. We'll be there as best we can, and if any calamity or weirdness happens, I'll be talking about it too. So my prayers go out to my great friends out in Florida and the people I haven't even had the joy of meeting. But I know a lot of Floridians are listening to my show. God bless, guys. Be safe. And remember, folks, where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.